All right, welcome everyone. Cody, Coach Cody in the internet world. I'm just going to share some of my journaling notes here, a little bit of a speech I was thinking about preparing. So it goes like this. I am a human being, just like all of you. I did not choose to be born here. I did not choose the date, time, or location. I did not choose my parents. I did not choose the circumstances in which I was raised in. We all share that same sentiment. Our 26th president, Theodore Roosevelt, famously said, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." What each and every one of us needs to understand is that some of us are born into circumstances that are far from ideal, far from comfortable, far from safe and secure. Some of us are born to parents that are alcoholics, drug addicts, physically and or emotionally abusive. Some of us know at a young age that mom and dad will not be going to your sports events or helping with homework, and definitely won't be buying your first car or cell phone, definitely won't be helping you fill out applications to college, or taking you to visit the campuses. Some of us know at very young ages, when they hit 18, no matter how unprepared or even how hard they work at their minimum wage job, they won't have a home. They won't have support from the school or the staff. They will be alone to fend for themselves. You see, that is a reality that most of you never experienced. That is a reality where the rules, regulations, and laws that are being enacted and endorsed cause untold suffering to our citizens. It is a privilege of the highest accord to be in a position that each of our leaders sit in today. With that privilege and power comes a great responsibility to educate yourselves, to be engaged in the community, to work to gain a true understanding of what your words and actions equate to in reality, what your policies and mandates do to the average citizen in which these things are meant to serve, in which they are supposed to improve lives. What I see is an entire class of leaders from every single level of government, completely out of touch and detached from the reality of millions of people's lives. So-called leaders enjoying restaurants and bars, vacations, large houses, all the toys money can buy, while someone living a few blocks away is struggling to pay their mortgage, struggling to put food on the table, struggling with loss, struggling with the policies and laws that have catastrophically hurt their small business, or their ability to work, or their ability to choose when and why they make a personal medical decision, or choosing between a job and their child's best interest. The list goes on and on. All the while, the very people enacting or mandating the average citizen makes those choices are completely unaffected by them. And if they are, they themselves ignore their own rules. It is time we wake up, find our compassion, find our true drive to serve, to lead. Show the world, show our children what being a leader really is. So for me, this is not about handouts. This isn't about more public assistance policies and programs. This isn't about free stuff. This isn't about, oh, we need to look down on these people and help them. We don't need to give out these any more helping hands. What it is we have to start the process now of gaining the understanding. Or someone who has never been through those type of experiences, those are the types of people that are most commonly in a power position, in a leadership position, because they had a good life, they had it comfortable, they were safe and secure. They didn't have deep traumas that made it difficult for them to do the things that are necessary to get to that power position, to make the right decisions in their day-to-day life, because they weren't educated on it. They weren't groomed. They weren't trained to do that. In fact, it was the opposite in most people's cases. And the time in the world for people to be ignorant to that, to our leaders to be ignorant to that, is coming to an end. We need to move past it. We need to move past this separation of, power and money as the driving factor to whether you have worth or not. Because your worth has nothing to do with the power position you're in, the money, the amount of things you've done, or the people you've stepped over to get where you are. It's about agreeance. It's about understanding and using that understanding to enact compassion. And with that compassion, we can spread that through, just like all the evil things that we see spreading through right now. We see so much, separation and political ideologies, and the average person arguing with their friend or their neighbor about something that really doesn't have a major effect in their life right now. And all the while, in the underneath all that, there's laws, rules, and regulations being put in place that no one really gets told about in the public forum, that are actually the reasons for these divisive conversations and these separations. So what we need to realize, and what the leaders of this country and of this world need to understand deeply, is some of us are starting this race because we all start with nothing. We don't know anything. We don't understand anything. You can't wipe your own butt. You can't walk. You can't talk. These are all, everything is taught to us as human beings. And some of us are being taught things that are harming us as we get older, unbeknownst to us, unbeknownst to the individual who was taught those things, because that's just it. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know the things that you weren't taught, that were never brought to your awareness, they were never brought to your consciousness. And the same exact thing applies to the leaders. You were taught how to run a business. You were taught how to make money. You had the comfort and the security. So of course you make more money. You have more things. You get into more positions of power because that's what you were taught, because of the luck of your draw. And if you can't accept that as the reality, then it's sad. And I'm not going to say that there aren't plenty of people that step out of that spectrum and step above from the horrific situations or the struggles and tribulations that they had growing up. I would like to think that I am amidst one of those people who has overcome that and has created a lifestyle, a mindset, habits that are leading me on a path that are far greater. But the reality is, at my age, I very well could and should be in a much different position than I am now, simply if I had a different experience growing up, if I would have been presented with those opportunities. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't have any regret. I don't have any animosity from my past, despite the deep struggles that were there. What I do have is a deep level of gratitude for it, because I've been able to take the time to go back and actually do a real analysis within my own brain of what happened, to ask questions, new questions, come up with new ideas, to educate myself as an adult and start to unwind the various things that at one point in time were extremely hurtful. Oh, excuse me. Probably blew your eardrum out. Sorry. So to conclude, there needs to be a widespread recognition from the leadership, okay? Because works from the top down, okay? We're in a country here in America where we, the people, hold the power. And that's exactly where these divisive things are taking place. The few are the leaders. The few are the people in a position of power. The majority is the people. And there's been a long history of things taking place, whether intentional or not, I don't care. We need to accept that it's true, that these things are taking place, and these laws aren't necessarily having the effect that we may or may not want them to have. And we need to build a new sense of accountability, a new sense of ownership, and take responsibility for our current lives so we can empower the next generations. It's vital. It is so vital. Now is the time for us to do this. Thank you for your time, and hopefully this resonates with you.